Wellington Dukes TV is brought to you by the Sandbanks Bar and Grill. Dukes fans, stop by the Sandbanks Bar and Grill on any home game night wearing your Dukes gear to receive 10% off your meal. The Sandbanks Bar and Grill, 153 Main Street, Wellington, Ontario. It's always better by the water. Hello again, and thanks for watching Wellington Dukes TV on WellingtonDukes.com and YouTube. This channel is sponsored by the Sandbanks Bar and Grill, Main Street, Wellington. 3 out of a possible 4 points this past weekend has allowed the Wellington Dukes to keep pace in the frantic East Division of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Let's check out the highlights from a huge interdivisional win over the Kingston Voyageurs and a tough shootout loss at the hands of the Milton IceHawks. The Kingston Voyageurs making their first visit to S-Rock Arena Friday night. In 2 previous meetings at the Invista Center, Wellington had a win and a shootout loss, so win Friday would give the hosts the regular season series. The Dukes on the power play in the first, and Eric De Laurentiis bangs home a loose puck off the back wall, and it's 1-0 Wellington. With under a minute to go in the first, Kingston responds as Mike Krokock sends this shot off 2 bodies in front, and it sneaks past Tyson Teichman to even the scoring at 1-1. Early in the second, the Dukes pull ahead again, this time Josh Shaprika surprising Alex Brooks-Potts to get Wellington in front 2-1. The Dukes build on the lead later in the frame as Mike Soucier will go top bunk on this backhander over the shoulder of Brooks-Potts, and it's 3-1. Kingston would bring in backup Sam Tanguay with under 2 minutes to go in the second. Wellington's Stephen Digg would make it 4-1 minutes into the third with a goal of the year candidate that unfortunately isn't available on the archive. Frustrations boil over on the Kingston side late, and Joe McEwen will tip home Kyle Patt's point shot, and it's 5-1 late for the Wellington Dukes. Late in the frame, Blake O'Neill trips Maurizio Colella, and he gets up and later takes a shot at Michael Casale. Spencer Turcotte comes in and they have words, but it's all talk as Wellington wins their third in a row at home, 5-1. Wellington and Eric De Laurentiis in Milton to take on the IceHawks on Sunday. The game was being produced by JVI Video Productions, and they always put on an outstanding broadcast of Junior A games in the Greater Toronto area. Wellington opens the scoring halfway through the first when Kyle Patt gets his 4th point of the weekend on the game's first goal. 4 minutes later, it's Mike Soucier getting a stick on Chad Thibodeau's shot from the blue line, and Wellington's up 2 after 1. In the second, penalty trouble hits Wellington, and Mitch Graham will bank it home off a skate in front of Teichman to cut the lead in half. But Graham wasn't done. Watch here as Milton comes over the blue line and Teichman makes a save. Chad Thibodeau trips up his man charging to the net, and Graham pops out from behind. He pushes Thibodeau, and the Dukes defenseman gets up with the gloves off almost immediately. Thibodeau lands a few overhand rights, and Graham quickly realizes he's outgunned and covers up. Both players would get the gate. Later in the second, great forechecking by Abbott Gerdakis, and Joe McEwen will help out set up Maurizio Colella in front. He rips a one-timer past Ben Blacker, and it's 3-1 Dukes after 40 minutes. Wellington would give up the lead in short order as the IceHawks combine on a pretty goal here with Shane Bennett being the trigger man. Less than 30 seconds later, Josh Pace would tip home Tyler Burns' shot, and it's tied up at 3-3. Late in the game, Wellington with a chance to win it as Mike Robinson feeds Eric De Laurentiis, who fires it at Blacker. Stephen Digg is alone in front, but the Dukes are denied with just 3 seconds left. This one goes to a shootout, and in round 1, Shane Bennett opens up the scoring for Milton. Eric De Laurentiis is tabbed for Wellington in the round 2, and he roofs it past Glenn Blacker, and it's 1-1. In round 3, Kane Elliott will get stuffed by Teichman. Mike Robinson can win it for Wellington here, but Blacker comes up big, forcing round 4. Ryan Burns will slip it through the 5-hole on Teichman to put the IceHawks in front. At the other end, Blacker will deny Joe McEwen, and the IceHawks get the extra point, defeating Wellington in the shootout for the second time this season. Wellington has a pair of home games this weekend before hitting the road. They host Orangeville Flyers home on Friday night and then take on the Toronto Lakeshore Patriots on Sunday, both games at S-Rock Arena. On Tuesday, the club travels to Lindsay to play the Muskies, and we will have highlights of all 3 of those games sometime next week. Until then, thanks for watching Wellington Dukes TV. I'm Jason Parks.